The topic that we want the presidential candidates to discuss during the 2016 campaign is the important issue of gun control.
Gun control is an unsolved problem that has been going on for decades.
Many citizens in the United States are fighting and debating over gun control. They're debating over first, if people kill people, and secondly, if guns kill people. The first thing that has to be discussed is the rights of the people before any of the laws can be made to control them.
The right that every citizen of the United States has is the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment says, a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
The exception to the Second Amendment are the mentally unfit, the felons, and the people who have been unhonorably discharged from the military.
If you owned a gun for the intent of defense, you needed to be incorporated or associated with militia.
The National Firearms Act were the first gun control laws to be passed. This imposed a $200 tax on a manufacturer. The laws were later said to be unconstitutional and they did background checks in 1993.
Most of the time, in order to get a gun, a person would have to get a license. Some exceptions to getting a federal license are when a person is buying a gun for show, or selling a gun at a show, or if a gun shop is only selling ammunition.
In most states, there is a duration on how long the permit lasts. In places like Indiana, there are two different types of permits. One lasts for 4 years, and the other one is a lifetime permit.
Some people think that Indiana should remove the lifetime permit. This is because people should renew their permit regularly.
But not everyone uses their guns for shooting, because about 498,000 times a year, Americans use guns to frighten away intruders. This means that some people just use guns to threaten people and won't actually shoot them.
They want laws covering the sale of firearms to be stricter than they are now, a distinct rise of 8 percentage points from 2014. Fewer Americans than last year want the laws to be less strict, and the proportion who want laws to stay the same has also declined slightly.
I do believe it needs to be abolished under the pretense that with any license by the government needs to be upkept. If you are no longer steady with your hand, somebody needs to know that. If you do not know how to use your own gun, that's what the licensing should be for.
Over the years, gun sales has increased dramatically.
But the homicides with firearms have decreased to 39%, and other crimes with firearms have decreased 69%.
Recently, a study shows that a nation with more guns equals less crime.
But that isn't always the case. In places like Japan, their murder rate is almost zero. One thing that they have done, and that we haven't, is banned handguns. It's not just that. It takes a very long time to get a gun there also.
What would happen if the United States government just suddenly puts a ban on guns?
What will happen is that there will be an outrage and many riots. It also would be extremely hard to do, since the Second Amendment protects our right to bear arms, but it could be changed.
If the United States of America completely gets rid of guns, then what would the police officers use? And how would someone protect themselves?
Would the police and other law enforcement officers be able to break the law because they always have used guns?
Yes, if guns do get banned, the officers will still be able to use their weapons because they are using them to hunt down people without weapons.
And if no one else has a gun, then they will need to shoot less.
Personally, as it sits, assault rifles, automatic rifles of any type or things that have the capability of going automatic, that's what I would say need to be banned because there's no use for them in regular society.
Secondly, what people need to look at is this. What would happen if the United States of America suddenly takes away the gun bans on gun-prohibited areas?
With one exception, every mass shooting in the United States happens in places where guns are banned. And if the United States makes it so that guns are allowed there might be less shootings.
We think that a reason why criminals commit mass shootings in places where guns are banned is because there are no victims there to protect themselves.
A group of prison inmates were polled, and it was found that they would be more scared of a victim with a gun than a police officer.
A reason why they would be scared is that for a police officer, they would try not to kill people. With the victim, they could be more likely to kill someone out of the fear for their own life.
But by taking away the gun ban there, more criminals would be less likely to commit crimes there.
Encourage states to get rid of gun-free zones. That nearly all of these mass shootings that we've seen have occurred in gun-free zones. So many people that are like fish in a barrel. These mass shootings don't occur at the dreaded gun show.
Recently, Donald Trump has proposed to create a ban on people who are on the terror list. He says, if somebody's on the watch list and they're an enemy to the state, and we know that they're an enemy to the state, then I would keep them away. Absolutely.
While Trump is saying that, Ben Carson is opposing it. He says, there are a lot of people on that watch list and they don't even know why they're on it. And they've been trying to get their name off of it, and no one will give them information.
Felons can lawfully possess firearms if their civil rights are restored by requisite government entities. This shows that people can and can't be trusted with guns.
In conclusion, we think that the presidential candidates should be talking about the unsolved case of gun control and how it needs to be dealt with.